Welcome, welcome, amazing, beautiful people, to this really special live. I'm bringing you two incredible beings, Lewis and Arttemis, and they are running a masterclass teaching all about money, magic, alignment, how you can transform your relationship, upgrade your wealth, and step fully into your power so you can have the most incredible next chapter of your life. And it's felt to bring them on so they could share with you some tips, pointers, their experience on how you can all upgrade, because I feel so many people in the world right now are not living in the fullest abundance. And Arttemis, Lewis, welcome. Who'd like to go first? What do you feel the people who are tuning in really could benefit from hearing right now?
Yeah, I want to welcome everybody who's watching. This is a really exciting time to be resourced and to resource ourselves to our source of supply and to have an abundance of money and cash flow. And, I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas. I lead 28 agents. I have a multi-million-dollar real estate company. And the blocks to money are in everyone. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you feel abundant. And there are people out there who are very abundant and don't have a lot of money. And so money is often one of the biggest issues I address in my agents that I teach and train, is how to get resourced. When you don't need more resources, you need to become more resourceful, is the saying in business. And unless we're born into wealth, we all start at the bottom and work our way up. And yet so many of us are indoctrinated from this hustle and grind culture. You've got to work hard. You've got to hustle. And in my experience, that has not been the case in my real estate business. And I've been able to really attract an amazing team, mentors, cash flow, resources by playing a different game with my money. And I've been on this journey since I was 21 years old. I have 55,000 hours of training in mind-body medicine. And I studied holistic medicine for 21 years in 4 clinics with 3 holistic medical doctors. And so I was reversing chronic degenerative diseases, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, successfully by healing the blocks in the subconscious mind and then taking them through a regenerative medicine path. Then I got sick and tired of working with people who were sick and tired, got burned out in it. And I started a career in real estate. And when I started working in business and helping myself and other business owners, the blocks to money and health and relationships are all the same. They're just expressed differently in our lives. But the importance of knowing your connection to supply, the importance of having more than enough in your consciousness is what I've come to realize, Luke. It's one of the most important awakenings to have first. Because if you're in lack, how are you going to go for your dreams? If you're in lack, how are you going to go find that partner of your dreams? If you're in lack, how are you going to build health and vitality if you think you can't afford it? It's like, so like the money block, in my opinion, is one of the most important blocks to clear first. And that's why Lewis and I have come together. What say you, Lewis?
Yeah, a note on that. If you aren't happy and grateful with the life you have now, as for example, what the sunset looks like outside my casita in Costa Rica. Now this is a special case. If you aren't happy and grateful for what you have now, if you're not aligned and receiving the gift of the present moment, being present to the present of the present, we like to say around these parts, then what do you think the future is going to give you? The future is not better than the now. So it's not just health, it's not just wealth, it's not just relationships, it's happiness. And it's your connection to God and source. We like to say in our introduction to the course that we're committed to having every one of our students wake up held in the grace of God. And I have definitely experienced and observed that multiplying that frame of consciousness, that frequency, that experience. So that's what we're here today to talk about and bring to you.
Yeah, we have a massively transformative purpose forming around money magic alignment, starting with the conversation of your money. Like, how's your relationship with your money? And in this purpose, it's more than just money. It's about knowing your value. Because in my experience, everyone who had challenges with money didn't know their value. And not skill sets in business and branding, marketing, automation, and lead generation, incubation, conversion. Like I teach all that stuff in real estate, but it's like, do you know your value? And are you willing to give that to the world? And what is value and where does it come from? And you know, so we have this purpose to really wake up in our world. And I'm going to pull it up here in a sec and share it with you.
Yeah, go up. There you go.
So it's to help awaken 100,000 souls to realizing their full divine potential as a co-creator with God. Our purpose is to help all people, all faiths, all religions access, contain, and embody their soul's connection to universal power and universal wealth, knowing that we all have access to universal power and universal wealth, and we create from the subconscious using that power and wealth. And in this way, no fear of lack or worry about the outer world will ever prevent us from creating a life we truly love, because we know how to access the power of our soul to create pure magic and miracles every day. And that's why we're building Money Magic Alignment, is because so many people are looking for the miracle outside themselves. And one of my masters said, become the miracle in action. And in order to do that with money, you need to know where your money comes from and how you create wealth, not from outside, but from inside, in the theater of your mind. You know, Matt Fury, who wrote the book, The Theater of the Mind, great book, by the way. He would say, if you knew the power of your mind and the theater of your mind, you would use it every day. But how many of us look at our bank accounts and see our value in the quantity of money in our bank account? You know, your value is not in your bank account. But if you think your value is outside of yourself and you're chasing more and more and more, and you don't know your value and feel abundant now, when you go build that $1 million business in the consciousness of chasing more, when you get there and you have $1 million, you're still not going to be satisfied, because you haven't mastered the inner game of wealth. Wealth is what you have when all the money's gone. It's a state of consciousness. And yet so many of us have these fears that we've been programmed with in our childhood. And I know you do a lot of work, Luke, with people in healing the pains, the blocks of our own childhood. It's the fear of lack, the fear of not good enough, the fear of not being enough, the fear of missing out. You know, if whatever we're born into in our family field, we take on, through a suffering obligation of love, our parents' patterns of money. So a lot of our own blocks of money are our parents' blocks of money. And in our course, Money Magic Alignment, I'll just share with you the website real quick.
Yeah, please do. So everyone, it's an amazing course. Come join the masterclass. We'll share the link with you now. We'll pop the link in the comments as well for everyone, so it's super easy for you.
Yeah.
Done.
Now everyone join.
MoneyMagicAlignment.com. We're taking people on a journey from conscious mind to subconscious mind to soul and to superconscious. You know, we're teaching people how to use the mind in creation, but also how to access the deepest part of their being, which is their focus. And in this course, we take people through the journey of their family field, and we recode and repattern all the blocks to wealth and money and having in weeks 3 and 4. And it's a game changer, because Carl Jung put it this way: until we become conscious of what is unconscious, the outer world will rule our life, and we call it fate. Mm-hmm. Until we become conscious of what is hidden, there needs to be some inquiry about, hey, how was money growing up? How was mom's relationship with money? How was dad's relationship with money? And how is that still playing out in your life? And is it upgradable? Can you change it? Can you shift it? Can you transform the feeling that you have around wealth and supply? And yes, you can, but it's no small feat. Most of us, we live our lives in quiet desperation, and we die with our music inside of us. And so to actually make the shifts in the subconscious mind is really, really important, because it's not just changing what you believe, it's changing what you intend. You don't need to change your beliefs to be wealthy. You need to change your intention. And that intention comes from a feeling. And that feeling comes from the subconscious. And most of us, we can learn how to create coherent feelings of wealth each day, planting like fertile seeds in the garden of our mind and watering them with a feeling of wealth and abundance. And then through that repetition, rhythm, deep feeling, we start to shift our subconscious. And these are some of the principles we're going to be unpacking in our masterclass coming up on October 26th. We're going to be teaching the 3 levels of mind and doing some block removal on wealth. And then masterclass number 2 is November 2nd, where we're going to teach the Wizard's Gate of Wealth. And that's probably the most powerful like mindset practice, is to enter the Wizard's Gate and to be it so you can see it. And we'll have some meditations, and everyone keeps telling me I need to do more meditations because my voice is so soothing and relaxing. I'm like, okay, I hear you. We'll do some more.
I just love everything that you say, Arttemis, and you can just keep speaking forever. If you like to. It's very soothing on the soul. And I saw an amazing video with some of your previous students who were sharing they'd had some amazing transformations. Maybe we can drop that link in the chat as well for everybody in the comments. And I saw people were like going from 10K to making 40K, 4xing what they were doing, and people saying it was the best masterclass they've ever been to. And can you share what people might experience if they do come, and what might stop people from coming? Because some people might be saying, oh, I've done loads of these kind of things before, I've read so many books. Like what would you want to say to those people to actually get them to be brave enough to come? Because some people might be.
Sorry about that. I'm responding to comments.
Yeah, like we're talking about the inner game here. We're not talking about branding, marketing, automation, skill sets and generating money on the outer game. We're talking about the inner game. And the biggest block is going to be skepticism. Like, is this going to work for me? I've tried all that stuff before. It never worked for me, and I'm still in lack. I still don't have enough in my life. And the first thing I would say to that is go watch our sizzle reel, go watch the testimonial reel on the homepage, and just look at the stories of the people who took our course, because they all had the same skepticism. And it worked for them, but they had to be humble and enter with a beginner's mind. I have 55,000 hours of training in mind-body medicine. I've studied from some of the finest healers in the world. And one thing I've always been good at, Luke, is a beginner's mind. Every time I meet someone who's mastered what they've done, I just put my feet at the master for a little while and study. I don't judge them as a personality. They might not have the body I like or the face I like, but they have the life experience. They have the wisdom. So like, it's important that we enter this work. If it's never worked for us, enter with a beginner's mind. And remember that whatever you have in your life right now is a reflection of your subconscious, for good or bad. The relationships you have, the money you have, the businesses you have or created, it's all a reflection of your inner world. As within, so without. As above, so below. And when we accept that as a principle of creation, that as within, so without, that comes from the Emerald Tablets of Hermes, 4,000 years old, very ancient truth. As within, so without. If you accept that principle as true, and you have something you don't like in your outer world, guess what gets to change? Not your outer world. You don't need to rearrange the furniture or get a new skill set or start a new business or chase another shiny object. You might need to look within. But the question about money generation is, what do I do next, Arttemis? Just tell me what to do. Okay, how do I do it? What do I do? How do I do it? But maybe the better question is, who am I with money? And is my money even coming from love, or is it coming from lack? Is my intention for wealth coming because of I desire something truly, or is it because I'm avoiding something or running from something? And these are very important questions to ask. Does money keep you safe? No. But why do we look to money for safety? And in our master classes, we really address the sickness in our society around money, because the biggest problem with creating money and wealth, you know what it is, Luke? What do you think the biggest problem is with money and creating wealth?
In my experience, most people don't believe that they can.
Yeah, doubt, fear and doubt. and this,
Digital noise.
the social media. Because we see all these people who've done the work and been there and made the gains to create wealth, and we see their success. And what do we do? We compare ourselves.
And we judge them.
We judge them, or we judge ourselves, and we create the gap to wealth, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between them and you. So what we withhold from another, we withhold from ourselves. What we judge in another, we judge in our own subconscious. When really we should be celebrating the wealth of other people all the time and voting their victory and saying, way to go, and teach me more.
I can own that one, everybody, as well. Like, in my personal experience, I've come from a family where my mum raised me and my brother on government benefits. Our dad left when we were very young, and then worked my way up to being a sales director of an international software company, making more money than anybody that I knew, and then having successful businesses. And it's been a tremendous journey. And I used to have that internal voice when I saw someone else make their first million, like, oh, why isn't that me? And then I had this shift, and I call it unity consciousness. So this was my awakening in 2016. I got this connection to this energy that creates everything, and it brought peace into my heart. And I realized that there's just one thing, and we're all a part of this one thing. And if you win, everyone wins. If someone else is winning, everyone wins too. And that switch from celebrating other parts of the oneness that are winning was massive, because that brings people into your world. And most people, they don't do it on purpose. It's not conscious, but
Yeah.
kinds of things that might be holding you back. So I love it. And someone was asking in the chat about the masterclass. So you can go and join. It's an absolutely free masterclass. So it's moneymagicalignment.com, free masterclass. Go and join. Take that first step. It's a really easy step to take. All you have to do is click a button and you're in, and then show up on the day. Don't let your ego give you excuses and try and distract you. They're very clever, our egos. They try and keep us small and keep us safe. They're very, very good at doing that. And they've kept you alive this whole time.
So we talked about skepticism and being skeptical. The second block is going to be the fear of vulnerability, because we need to go into the shadow. It's not just through chasing the light that we create. It is through knowing our darkness. And when we can touch our darkness, we can emit more light.
The cave that you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek.
Yeah. And it's not about trying to fix yourself. It's just like Carl Jung said, until we become conscious of what is unconscious, the outer world will rule our life, because we're living the same patterns over and over again, because we haven't illuminated them with the mind. And that's the beauty of these masterclasses, is we want to help you illumine your mind so you can awaken the soul. And the soul, the power comes from soul, not mind. And yet you need to understand the role of mind in the creation of money, and how the mind plays tricks on us, the self-conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and so we unpack what those levels of mind are and how we start to integrate. And in the teachings of Huna and the kahunas of ancient Hawaii, the Huna tradition in Hawaii goes back over 200,000 years. It's actually the oldest oral and written tradition on the planet, going all the way back to Lemuria. And in the Huna tradition, they had the Unahipili, Uhani, and Amakua. And there was the lower self, the middle self, and the higher self. And in the Huna tradition, they said anything that is out of balance in your life is due simply to a block between your middle self and your higher self. It was just a disconnect between the higher self. And that all you ever want in life, health, wealth, and relationships, is through aligning you with the higher self. But here's the crux. In the Huna tradition, one of the oldest written and oral traditions on the planet, way older than the Vedas, 200,000 years old. They gave this very powerful truth. They said the way to the higher self is through the lower self. The way to heaven is through the earth. The mastery of your subconscious. And you got to go slow. One of the blocks is, I want immediate results with this, Arttemis. Give me the immediate shifts and breakthroughs I need to make $1 million next month. Or even just $10,000 next month, whatever your immediate result is. the way to heaven is through the earth. The way to your higher self is through the subconscious and getting in right relationship with it. And because of this and too much information, overstimulation, we have an structure and environment in our culture that impedes our relationship with ourselves. So a lot of what we do in these masterclasses is teach people how to slow down and be in right relationship with their subconscious. And as they build that right relationship, more Pandora's box opens. Don't worry, we got block removal out the wazoo for that. But it's not about the problem. It's about shifting where you put your focus subconsciously. And your subconscious responds to 4 things. Write this down if you're taking notes. Rhythm, same thing every morning. Repetition, do the same thing. Deep feeling, slow down so you can feel the meaning of your words deeply enough. And simplicity. And for most people, they get the rhythm, but they lose it. They get the repetition, but then they get distracted. They even get the deep feeling, but they're trying to do too much at once. And they lack simplicity. So without those 4 things, the subconscious is going to ignore everything that you're trying to do with your abundance and money. And it's going to keep everything running that you survived. Everything you have, the lack, the money, or the abundance, or the stress, or whatever you have, is just because you survived it. It's survivable. And we're wired to survive. Thriving is a choice. And the reason we have these automatic patterns in the subconscious is because it's what keeps us alive. But it's not who we are.
You shared something with me earlier, and we have a real mixture of people who might be tuning in right now. We'll have some people who are brand new to this kind of work. Maybe this will be their first masterclass they ever take. And we've got some people who are masters in this game, similar to yourself, Arttemis, decade doing this deep work. And you shared something with me, and I can't remember the exact phrase. It was about a way to reprogram your subconscious that you do, or that you did. And I believe you're going to teach that in one of your courses.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I got to tell my kids to be quiet.
Yeah, amazing.
Ryan, be quiet.
And that for me was really interesting to hear about that, because I'm always looking for the new modalities. I'm looking for the things that can actually create shifts. And can you tell us maybe a little bit about that, just to get people excited for what might be coming up?
So what we're going to be doing is a superconscious recode, as taught by Christopher Michael Duncan, one of my mentors, and in the ability of connecting to our superconscious. Our superconscious is our genius. It's our higher self. And there's also a great council of superconscious connection. Like it is the quantum field per se. And when we do these recodes, we have the ability to take hundreds of people at a time, activate all resistance to wealth, to abundance, to money, wherever they are in their wealth. Because remember, like I said, you could have a lot of money and not feel very abundant and be chasing the almighty dollar, or you could be struggling with money and to make ends meet. Wherever that is, we can tag all active resistance, help you become aware of it, and then through the superconscious, recode and transform the resistance instantaneously. No trance state, no hypnotherapy. It's done fully conscious, it's done fully awake. And it's one of the most powerful block removals I've ever witnessed. I mean, Lewis can attest to it. I've done dozens of recodes on Lewis, and a lot of his biggest transformation has been from the recode.
100%, which is why I learned how to do them, because I'm a product of our product. This work we created for ourselves initially, and we were like, there's a lot of people who are going to need this, but the recodes, I've just looking at the variety of results and responses from students, everything from a full body orgasmic bliss to an out-of-body spiritual experience to, oh my God, I lost 10 years of weight and energetic resistance, to most importantly, and this is what makes the recode very different than everything else, is super conscious is doing the work. It's not us, the humans, us, the egos, us, the minds. It's us tuning in as an interface to clear the perfect amount of the perfect pieces and parts for this now moment, so that the force of nature, the rushing river that you are, can flow and take new actions in the direction of where you want to go. I'm actually, today, I literally had 10 more people show up just from personal invitations given over about an hour and a half after a recode last night with Arttemis. So you guys are in for an amazing treat, because I think Arttemis is, I mean, in my estimation, one of the top 5 recoders on the planet.
Let us know in the comments and in the chat if you would love a recode. Put recode down below and we'll send you some details. If you've got any questions as well, please do let us know your thoughts, your feelings in the comments, and it'd be our absolute pleasure. And guys, I'm in. Let's recode me. Let's upgrade. Let's go.
Yeah.
Actually, Arttemis, do we have time? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Not today, but in the masterclass, because the masterclass is 4 days from now. So
okay, cool.
It's 7
Yeah,
o'clock Central Time.
Come to the masterclass, Luke. Yeah.
And Luke, you can watch the replay because you're in Europe, so you'll get a more powerful recode on the replay because of morphogenetic fields. Like when we create the structure to address the blocks to money, and you name it so you can change it. You know, when you name a thing, you have power over that thing, and that's why we need to do the block removal so you can stop repeating the same pattern. And then once the recode has been created and recorded, you're now tapping into that field structure, and that second replay is more powerful than being there live. And we still haven't figured out how that works. Go ahead. Yeah, we don't know how that works.
The idea of blockages as well is a fascinating thing. So everyone, if you're wherever you're at in your life right now, maybe you are just starting out in your business, maybe you're still in a job, maybe you already have a 7-figure company. I have a friend on Facebook, and he helps people go from 7-figure companies to 8-figure companies. And he's like, the amount of blockages we have to remove, even though you already have a 7-figure business, but if you want to go to an 8-figure business, you have to do a complete new recode. You have to become a completely new person. Think differently and structure things differently. And so wherever you are at, I think you're going to get a lot out of this masterclass. And Arttemis, I saw you were writing something mysteriously on your board. Do you want to take people?
Yeah. To explain the superconscious, we want to look at it as like 3 levels of memory. Memory 1, memory 2, and memory 3. And everything in the physical plane and duality is mind. That's a Hermetic law. All is mind. And everything begins from a higher mind and then distills down into causal levels, astral levels, and physical levels. And there are 4 levels of the 4 bodies: mental, causal, astral, physical. And the memory 1 is that highest level of mental, and we call that superconscious. So memory 1 is superconscious. And that is all information, all time, all memory, all space is superconscious. The first person to coin the term superconscious was Edgar Cayce. He's known as the sleeping prophet, and he would go into trance states and download medical healing protocols, and they would heal. So Edgar Cayce, when they were asking him, Edgar, where are you getting all this information? He's like, I'm tapping the field. I'm tapping the superconscious. Everything exists in the superconscious. And then we go into memory 2, and when we're born right here, this is birth, we form memory 2, and that is called subconscious. And this timeline right here is the first 5 years of our life. So in the first 5 years, we are forming all the structures around money and supply in our own subconscious. And that's being formed from conception to age 5. And that's when our subconscious memory is being formed. And then right around age 5, there's something that magical that happens that we need to learn about. We're going to learn about this in masterclass number 2. It's when we form the self-conscious. So memory 1 is superconscious, memory 2 is subconscious, and memory 3 is self-conscious. This is also known as the ego. And it's not Igor, it's not edging God out, it's not an enemy. In our work, we teach you how to make the ego the instrument of your soul. You want to move from being the identity to the instrument. And that is a powerful shift of focus. Superconscious, subconscious, subconscious. Lower self, middle self, higher self. In the Huna tradition, they would say, seek always alignment of the 3 selves, working in perfect harmony for the highest and best good of all life. Many people watching this right now, you may not know that you're superconscious, and you are. You are superconscious. Every one of you listening to my words are superconscious. How are you accessing that superconscious intelligence in creating wealth? And how do you want to create an abundance in your life? Many of you maybe know you have a subconscious mind and you have feelings and beliefs and programs running automatically. But how good is your relationship with this memory too? And how is memory 2 holding back your connection to memory 1? Because in the Hunter tradition, we talked about this earlier, Luke, is that if you want access to the real powerful stuff, you got to master your lower self first. In the Hunter tradition, they would teach you for 10 years all of the martial arts, all of the fitness, all of the meditations and the repetition before they taught you the superconscious intelligence. There's value in going slow. There's value in mastering your subconscious and getting to know it. And there's also value in knowing that you're also super conscious, and there you can connect these two through going higher. But at the end of the day, Luke, we all have to do the work. You know, we're all here mastering these 3 selves. And the most important mastery is the awareness. And there's nothing more beautiful than becoming wealthy. You know, the desire to become rich is a godly desire. Read Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. Is one of the first books I read from the great masters. You know, that the desire for more is divine. But how many of us make that desire wrong? You know, some of us right now, we think that if we have more, others will have less. And we believe that subconsciously. Some of us grew up in a family field where mom and dad hated the rich neighbors. And they said, those people, they're crooks. They steal from people to make all their money. And as a little boy and girl, we believed it. Are we ever going to become rich in a family field of lack? You cannot plant a forest of abundance on seeds of scarcity. Think about that. What's going on in our subconscious when it comes to money? Everyone watching this wants more, but do we know what's in the way? You know, and that's why we want to really teach this stuff. And you know, now we're getting to the gold. Like, this is the best part of our whole huddle, is like what I'm sharing now, because until we become conscious of what is unconscious, until we right our relationship with God and know that I'm not my family field, I'm not these patterns from birth until 5. These were the wounds that I came in to make me stronger. And one of the biggest, the third block, we talked about, the first block is skepticism. Hey, this isn't going to work for me. The second block is going to be the fear of being vulnerable. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Let me just stay where I'm at. It's comfortable. It's survivable. It's like, no, we want to go in there and look at what's stanky and wanky and pull those weeds and plant flowers. The third block is the most important one. And it's recognizing that we fear becoming great. We fear becoming the identity of wealth, because the old self that we've invested so much time in, it has to dissolve. You actually have to make an identity shift to become wealthy. You have to change your entire matrix and identity. And your little self that you've invested in, that your family's invested in, that goes back 7 generations, that little self has put a lot of time and energy into that self. And transforming that little self into the great self is all the work that Napoleon Hill describes in the Law of Success in 16 Lessons. It's why we have masterminds. It's why proximity is power. It's why you got to surround yourself with people who are wealthy and healthy and wise, because they did the identity work. And your little self looks at them and goes, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And yet you right now, to become that wealthy person, truly wealthy, scares the bejesus out of your ego. It's scary, man. And so the subconscious mind needs to change slowly with rhythm, repetition, and deep feeling. And then when you can be it, you can see it. It's not fake it until you make it. It's not chase more money and hopefully that more money will get you the new identity. No, you get to become wealthy. Wealth is what you have when all the money's gone. You get to be it and see it. And that's why we do the meditations and the journaling and the visualizations and the recodes and the block removal. And like, these are all just peeling away the veils of illusion, because we're already so wealthy. You know, it's like in our masterclass number 1, we teach the definition of abundance. Abundance is not having a lot of stuff. Abundance is perceiving that all I desire and require is right here in front of me, available to my hands and use. But how many of us look at abundant people and compare ourselves, saying they have more and I have less? But the consciousness of abundance embodied is a state of magnetic supply. When you know that you're already abundant, you're going to go out and make more calls, do more videos, launch that business, and take those risks, because you know that all you desire and require is right here in front of you. But if you're in lack and you haven't taught your subconscious mind abundance, you're going to be drifting, doubting you can do it, and you're going to push away the opportunities. Lewis.
Yes. Prosperity and abundance don't come from people. They come through people when you tune to them, when you retune into your source. And I'll never forget what Elaine said in our video, which hopefully we'll share at the end. It's super short. Is he said, once you tune up, you know where to tune in.
Yeah.
So you know what to do and how to do it. And you're doing it from your heart, not in order to fix an unconscious wound or to solve the problem that you think you are. You're doing it for the pure joy of doing it because you enjoy doing it. And that energy is magnetic. It's like you've often said, Arttemis, if you light yourself on fire with inspiration for what you love, the whole world will gather to watch you burn.
Yeah. When you get on fire, like I love Luke, what he represents, unity consciousness, quantum awareness, the connection to all things. Like when you get on fire, everyone's going to come around to watch you burn.
I found one of the things that people are magnetized to is, since I found peace. Peace is a rare commodity in the world I grew up in. So many people are angry and bitter and upset and chasing all of the time and rushing. And when you meet someone who's present and peaceful, it's like medicine for the soul. And that is an energy I found through doing a quantum activation. I saw this version of me, this different incarnation, who was like a monk that had meditated for thousands of hours. And we can go and play with time and see these different aspects of the oneness. And I tuned into his energy, and he was the most peaceful being I'd ever felt. Maybe everyone, if you're open to it, you could just tune in right now. Just imagine, just with your consciousness, just play with it, what that would feel like to be a monk who'd meditated for thousands of hours. Can you feel what that peace would feel like in your heart, in your soul, in your being? And then I just kept, like you said, Lewis, I just kept tuning into that. And that became my default. And it became so easy for me to be peaceful, and so easy for me to meditate and to create from these realms, these super conscious realms, like you call it. We call it the quantum state in our q-rit modality. And when you create from that place, most of the creation is done before you even start moving your hands. You know, most of it's done in those non-physical realms, and then you have to do a little bit of doing, you know, and it's really fun for me when I get shown that kind of creation. So I'm just loving everything that you're saying. Lewis, you had something you want to share?
Absolutely. I'm getting chills as I think of it. It's I love to tell my clients that it's already done. You're just here to enjoy the process of discovering how you did it. So in the quantum field, what you want is already real. And you then get to be a vehicle for that unique expression of love to come into the world in a loving and fun and joy-filled way.
Yeah.
And with that, I've got to jump. I've got a client to coach, but please share our masterclass video before the end. I love it.
Yeah, thank you so much for jumping on. And if we are thinking about wrapping up, I know you can literally talk for days. So you've got your masterclasses. I know you've got an 8-week program as well. There's loads of great ways. Go connect with Lewis, go connect with Arttemis, come join the masterclass. It's just in a few days' time, and you can watch the replay as well. You said with people registered.
Yeah.
Sent out.
Yeah, we'll we have a private messenger thread that will invite people in who register. So we'll invite them all in the messenger thread, and we'll email out the replay of the masterclass so everyone can watch it. It'll be about 2 hours. There will be a block removal in the middle, and the second masterclass is going to be even more powerful than the first. So the second one, November 2nd, on the Wizard's Gate of Wealth, and this is our contribution to the world. Like this is something that's near and dear to our hearts that we can give people, because I agree with you, Luke, that we're entering a golden age of peace and enlightenment, that souls are waking up and they're hungry for the truth. And there are time for leaders to shine and to give these systems of new earth, money, new earth, communities, new earth, financial systems. And it's like, we all need to get up and start creating together and co-creating. And the best way to become a co-creator with God is to heal your fear of lack first, and to know that you're already abundant. And then to teach your subconscious mind in the theater of your mind through doing the deep personal work, which is part of the beauty of being a human, is to be wounded, is to come in with a wound and become whole again. And then to be whole in the consciousness of God with more than enough. And then for all of us to achieve that to a certain degree, and then create our society together. You know, it's such a beautiful thing. And I believe that you're one of those leaders. Lewis and I are taking charge. It's like, we're going to address this fear of lack head on. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. It's not about the quantity of the number. It's about how you feel about your supply and being supplied. It's about how you value yourself. And where are you intending to create wealth? Are you in the masterclass number 2, we're going to talk all about the dysfunction of money and why it makes people sick, and how to heal that dysfunction. So come join us.
Amazing. So I've got the video loaded up. I will share this. So come and hear about the people who already attended the previous round. Thank you so much, Arttemis, for everything that you're doing. We look forward to receiving those meditations as well, so we can listen to you all the time.
Fantastic. Yeah. More meditations coming soon.
And wow, what an absolute honor it is to have you here. And everyone who's tuning in, go click the link. Do you want to say the website one more time for anyone who's just tuned in?
Yeah. So this is our website, Money Magic Alignment. This is the sizzle reel. And
the Money Magic Alignment course is amazing.
So much gratitude for this course. I can say that I manifested, as of yesterday, 42K.
And Lewis and Arttemis are amazing. This space is truly healing in a way that I haven't really experienced in any other course that I've done before. So if you're thinking about doing it, stop thinking and just do it, because it's amazing and you won't regret it.
Oh my gosh, it feels like the waterfall of wealth just started like pouring into my life.
Now that I'm completely in tune, I know where to tune in. It just lies within me, and then everything else follows.
If you're an entrepreneur, you must experience it and use those practices daily, and then thrive and bring more light, abundance, and transformation into the world. Deeply grateful. Thank you so much.
And the content that I'm making now is amazing because I'm making it for me. I'm not making it for some result or to make a certain amount of money. Like, I'm making it because that was the thing that I needed and that I know that other people out in the world need.
It's just a different feeling. Like this morning I woke up and almost like a child with like skipping and so excited about what's happening. And it was really, really special. It's like something shifted in the vibration.
Great team, awesome work, great tools. I highly recommend it.
I got way more out of this course than I thought was possible when I signed up, and I can't wait to take it again. It was so helpful, and I highly recommend this for all business owners.
So if you're thinking about doing it, stop thinking and just do it, because it's amazing and you won't regret it.
that is some of our students from the last course. Good stuff.
So good, so good. Everyone go join. It's completely free for the first masterclass. Jump on it, moneymagicalignment.com. Any questions, pop them below and we will do our best to answer them. And other than that, thank you all so much. Go, you know what to do. You know if this is right for you. Just take the brave step. Decide that you will have the most incredible next chapter of your life. Come and learn about the superconscious. Get rid of the blocks that are stopping you from being fully in your power. And you don't even have to do more. You just have to figure out what's blocking you and then start to use this superconscious, which you all have access to. And unfortunately, we're just not taught about it in schools. but beautiful people like Arttemis and Lewis are here shouting from the rooftops so we can all thrive on all levels. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you again, Arttemis. And take care. I'll see you all soon. And I'll see you in the masterclass in a few days' time.